Hey guys, Jamie here. Today's video is going to be on my Video Games Monthly 2020 box. This video is not going to be an unboxing video. I've already opened the box and know which games I got. What I'm going to do is show you which games I got, talk about them a little bit, play them a little, look up the pricing, and see if it's equivalent to the price I pay for the 3-game box. For those that are unfamiliar with Video Games Monthly is a subscription video game box. Essentially how Video Games Monthly operates is that you make an account. Once you have your account set up, you pick a plan. There's 4 different plans. There's the 3-up, which is what I currently subscribe to, the 4-up, the 5-up, and the Power Pack, which is 10 games. Each plan has different pricing, the lowest being the 3-up, which is $34.99, and the highest being the Power Pack, which is $79.99. Currently, I have Nintendo 64 and the Wii U selected for my 2 consoles to come in my 3-up box. You don't know which games they're going to send you, so when the games come, make sure you check them off under the library so they don't send them again. Okay, first game we have up is LEGO Racers for the Nintendo 64. LEGO Racers is a LEGO-themed racing video game developed by High Voltage Software and published by LEGO Media. The game was released on July 31st, 1999 for Microsoft Windows, October 12th, 1999 for Nintendo 64, December 17, 1999 on the PS1, and December 29th, 2000 for the Game Boy Color. So at the start screen you can build, circuit race, single race, versus race, time race, and of course you have options. Under build you get to customize your driver, everything from their hats, their face, upper torso, and their legs. After you're done building your driver, you get to customize your license, which is essentially just selecting what name you want. After the Make License screen, you're taken to Build Car screen, where you can use the LEGO bricks to customize your car. For Circuit Race, it's much like any other game, right? You have a cup, and then within the cup you have different levels. And it seems like for each circuit race, there's a rival that you have to beat. And for Circuit 1, it's this pirate name, Captain Redbeard. The controls are pretty straightforward like any fun racer. A is gas, B is brake, Z is activate your power up. And because this game's more of like a fun game, it's like arcade racing style, so the physics are not realistic, so turning and handling, all of that is pretty easy. So just like Diddy Kong Racing and Mario Kart 64, there are power-ups you can get on the track. In this game, it goes with the LEGO theme, so it's the bricks from LEGO. There are 4 basic power-ups. There's the projectiles, which are the red ones, yellow, which is hazard, shield, which is blue, and turbo, which is green. And what's cool is you can power up all these things by collecting the white bricks. Something kind of cool is that if you win first place in the circuit, you win your rival's car set, which in this case was Captain Redbeard's. So after beating the first circuit, I found out that is how you unlock the next circuit. So in total, it looks like there's 7 circuits. There may be bonus circuits, meaning more than just 7 circuits, but to find that out, I would need to spend time playing this game and beat all 7 circuits. Okay, next game we have is MRC, Multi-Racing Championship. MRC is a racing video game developed by Genki and released for the Nintendo 64 in 1997. It came out in Japan July 18th, North America August 31st, and Europe October that same year. In North America it was published by Ocean, and Japan it was published by Imagineer. So in this game you can do championship, time trial, free run, versus race, and match race. So if you choose championship, basically you have options of the machine, which is the vehicle. You can choose the course, and then of course options, save, and load. So within the machine choosing, the different vehicles have different stats, different speeds. Some are front-wheel drive, some are all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. The physics of the game is actually a little more realistic than just an arcade racer. It's not as realistic as Gran Turismo or Forza, like simulation racing. But it's somewhere in between, meaning that like you have to control your acceleration and your braking because that affects how you're able to turn corners. And the game is actually quite difficult. So when you're racing, there's like a countdown, and if you don't hit the checkpoints quick enough, you'll actually lose. And on these tracks, it seems like you have different options to take. So you can go left, you can go right. If you take a different turn, sometimes it's off-roading, sometimes it keeps you on the pavement. So in the first race, I tried out the Galliant. Reason being is that I like the red and white. It was the first car available, so why not, right? So the only problem I had with this car was that it's a lot easier to spin out. The thing about the Galliant is it seems like it has a pretty high top speed, but the handling is not that great. Almost every turn I took, it was like on the verge of like spinning out. The next race I did, I tried the King Rotor, which is a four-wheel drive truck. The one thing I noticed about the King Rotor is the handling is way better. I didn't have to slow down, didn't have to brake. It took every turn and had a very tight grip on the road. But the cons about this is that the truck is not that fast. You see, the Galliant was closer to like 250 kilometers an hour, and the King Rotor is about 195 kilometers an hour. So you're sacrificing speed for handling. IGN described MRC as a perfectly average racer, and I think I agree with that. It's not super unrealistic like most arcade racers, which make them fun, nor is it super realistic like simulation racers like Gran Turismo, which also make those fun. It sits somewhere in between. If I had more time, I'd probably try to play through it. And the last game we have up is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six was released August 21st, 1998 on multiple platforms, such as Windows, Nintendo 64, the PS1, Game Boy Color, on the Mac, and Dreamcast. Rainbow Six is what you consider a tactical shooter video game, and it's actually the first Rainbow Six game in the whole series. Originally, it was developed for the PC, then it was eventually ported to the Mac OS, N64, PlayStation, and Dreamcast. I can't speak to any of the recent Rainbow Six games because I have not played them, but the older one focuses more on stealth and tactics rather than just run and gun, like most shooting games. The game is a lot slower paced, and in 1 to 2 shots is all it takes to kill you. So as you go from room to room, roaming about a building, you have to be very careful and meticulous. So from the main menu, you have Quick Start, New Campaign, or Load Campaign. And I guess you can even view credits if you want to. So when you start a campaign, before you start it, or in their terms, execute, there's other things you need to look at, such as the briefing, intel, roster, the kit, team, and then the planning. Under intel, it shows you people, organization, and other miscellaneous information. So under the briefing section, it tells you who's involved, and you can see what the objective is. Under roster, you have different people that you can choose from. Each person has their own name and their own stats. Next, under kit, you get to choose your uniform and then your weapons. You have your primary weapon, your secondary weapon. Everybody that plays shooters nowadays, that's pretty common to have a primary and a secondary. And then you have 2 slots from which you can choose different equipment. So under the uniform, it looks like they have different looks, but with each different look, they also seem to have 3 different tiers: light, medium, heavy. I don't know if that affects your stats or how much damage you take. One of the things I was actually really surprised about was that they actually use real names for the weapons. Like, for example, the MP5 SD5 made by H&K, that's real. Or the M16A2. You're probably asking, why am I surprised? Well, for those who don't know, you actually have to pay licensing fees to be able to use real names. So if you've ever wondered why in some games they use fake names, but it's a real gun, they probably could not afford the licensing fees so they can use the real names. Like, for example, if you play old Counter-Strike, the AK-47 is called the CV-47. If they would have put the AK-47, they would have had to pay for the licensing fees. And when you're a small-time developer, you cannot afford those. Now, what's interesting again is that this is the first Rainbow Six game. So where'd they get all this money? Well, it's Tom Clancy's, and, well, if you know Tom Clancy, he's written tons of books. So most likely, this development team or this franchise had the money already to pay for this. Because sometimes what happens is that if the game starts out and they can't afford real names for the weapons, they'll use fake names, and then as the games are successful and they start making money, then they're able to afford the licensing fees to use those names. The only thing I don't like about the game is the fact that all it shows is just a crosshair on your screen. No hands, no weapons. And for me, that plays a big part in a shooter. So for example, I currently play Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I love looking at all the different guns when you hold them in game and when you shoot them. I like seeing the iron sights, the clip, the rail system, like everything. It just looks so cool when you use them. And what's sort of weird is that showing a gun when you're in first person was already the norm. Like think of older games like Doom or GoldenEye. GoldenEye came out a year or two before this, and you can see all the guns. So I'm curious if it was more of an issue if they couldn't render it, because if they were to render it, maybe it would bog down the consoles too much or the PC at this time. Maybe there was too much already going on being rendered. Or maybe there was some sort of issue with licensing where they could show pictures of the weapons in the menu and use names, but they couldn't show what the guns looked like. Who knows? This is going to conclude our video for today. Make sure you're following me on all my socials. Follow me on Instagram where I post daily of my collection, my hauls, my pickups. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitch where I stream retro and current games on PC and console. Come hang out, be a part of the community, and watch me play through my backlog of games. The current schedule for Twitch is every day 7 p.m. Pacific time. I also have a Discord server where I'd love for you to join and be a part of the community. Again, links to all these socials will be down below in the description. If you enjoyed this video, support me by giving a thumbs up, subscribing, leaving a comment. In the comment section below, tell me, do you have VGM? Are you enjoying it? Do you not have VGM and you're thinking about getting it? Let me know. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Woo! You see that, baby?